And just like that, we're back. Shout out to my folks' house. Appreciate them accommodating my show last week. Your boy Chili hanging out, just trying to make sure that I cover as much as I can cover. Right now, I am super excited, overly excited. I think the Knicks have a chance. The Knicks will be playing the Pacers starting tomorrow night. I think the Knicks can get the Pacers. And now that I've said that, the Knicks are probably going to lose like 4-0 or 4-1 or something. A shout out to my guy Devin Horn, the one and only basketball guy, jumping on some football stuff. But I'm not sure. I'm hearing these rumors that he might not be able to jump on some football stuff in the fall. So congratulations to him and the cool things that he's got up and coming. Make sure that you guys stay tuned. Give him a follow on social media, X, Instagram, or whatever. Make sure that you guys support all the digital content creators, photographers, videographers, my guys, K Visuals, the one and only K Visuals, doing a lot of cool stuff with guys like Ricky Pearsall and everybody, really. Anybody that like came through ASU. Did a lot of work for Tucson Turf, Trenton Bourget, Cameron Scattaboo, all those guys. And I know he's going back and forth to the Bay, getting some work in with Ricky Pearsall. So that is very cool. That is very cool. So shout out to him. But still, if you guys hire him, make sure you pay him. He's not the only one, though. Ball Dogs AC, make sure you guys take care of my camera guy. When I do vlog, when I get the chance, make sure that you guys show him love, pay him. Give him his due. Other guys that do a lot of picture taking, my guy Blaine shot that. Super talented camera dude, put on to me by Pete No. Pete No also doing some analyst work, but also doing some pictures, getting some picture stuff, graphic stuff done. So make sure that you show him some love. JJ Digos, one of the best in the biz, super consistent. Ariana Graney. Who else? There's like a million of them. My guy Andy Silvas, absolutely love him. Absolute legend, the photographer. Corey Cross is out there. Mostly does a lot of stuff for like Highland and stuff. But there are BJ Media. If I don't show BJ Media love, he's probably gonna baby powder on the hand and smack me because I always miss him for some reason. But I never forget him. That's the crazy part about it. Do got a special guest lined up tonight, which I'm surprised that he's got the energy to go with the work that he's put in the last 2 weeks. I showed him some love last week. Him and BJ Media were literally at every showcase. I want to say that I hit 7 showcases, and I think that would be generous. I think that would be super generous. Saying that I hit 7 of them, but I do remember going to like Phoenix Union. I remember being up at Pinnacle, hit a couple of the Chandler schools, even though somebody gave me the wrong info on Perry Basha. I did hit the Gilbert showcase, the one that was at Highland, the Tempe showcase. Anyways, I had a bunch of them, right? So one that I did miss was the Northwest Valley showcase because they scheduled it at the same time as the Tempe one, and I had to pick and choose. And driving was like an issue because I was navigating a bus, if you will. Also the Scottsdale showcase I went to, I was stuck. I'm going to get into that in a minute because I ate too much food. And I wasn't miserable, but I did eat too much food. We're going to get into that in a second because without further ado, I got super hard worker, absolutely put in the work these last 2 weeks. Vacation, well deserved, and we're going to find out if he's actually going to take just a little break before he becomes the official voice and face of Flight Club, the 7-on-7 tournament that will be taking place the end of June 28th. We are like the play-in is almost full, so stay tuned because there are some new things coming to the play-in and Girls Flight Club. So without further ado. And I've been really waiting to do this for a long time. So just humor me and enjoy it. Beetlejuice. recruiting insider, recruiting scoop, go getter, the one and only Adam Beadle. Hey, you've been absolutely nonstop for the last 14 days. What's been going on the daily? Like, how has this worked out for you?
Well, what day? Oh, hang on. Somebody is calling me. The bad time.
Yeah, I
Bad
bet
time
they
to get a
are.
phone call.
Trying to
Um.
hit that D&D. Dang.
Well, what daily? What daily are we talking about? I mean, what?
Shoot, every day, like you're Monday, you're here, and then Tuesday, you're there, and
Yeah.
you were literally everywhere. Like, just kind of give me the little rundown before we get to the football talk. Where were you stopping for food and drinks, and how much gas did you put in the tank, and all that stuff?
So my gas is actually I get like 32 miles a gallon, which is really great because I've got Honda Civic and it's great. Shout out Honda Civic, great car. I think I went because I didn't have to do any drives to the West Valley last week, so
Oh,
I
okay.
got through my full tank from Monday to Saturday. By the end of Saturday, I think I filled up. So it was actually I didn't
Okay.
actually lose a lot of gas. It was a lot of, you know, because I live in the Chandler area, it was like, okay, I'm gonna go to one school, I'm gonna come home for like an hour, do some work, and then leave again, which is nice. But it was a lot of what is in the fridge, and then realizing there's nothing in the fridge, and then realizing I gotta go somewhere to get food, and then it's oh shoot, man, I gotta I didn't think about that, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta get sunscreen, and it's like, all of some of the times I would come home and I would like some work. And some of the times I would just come home and like lay on the couch for like 30 minutes and recharge and then get back to it.
Hey, you said that you did not go to the West Valley Showcase. I know you didn't, but you did supplement that. You did privately head out to Desert Edge. Super important. Everybody's got to go to Desert
Yeah.
Edge. And you went out to Maryvale.
And I went out to Cactus Shadows.
And is Cactus Shadows really like
it's
West
that
Side?
I don't care if it's West Side, it's an hour away. So it gets the not in Chandler East Valley area. That's what it gets.
Okay, so you want the credit. You want the traveling clout. I get it. All right. But talk to me. Just because I know you didn't go to the West Valley Showcase. Talk to me about your trips to Desert Edge and Maryvale, the things that you saw. I know Maryvale's building, and I know that Desert Edge has arrived. So just real quick, give me the rundown on the things that you saw there.
I'll just start by saying I'm so excited to tell some of the stories that are going to come out of Maryvale High School. First of all, obviously got the Carters back there, and it's just super exciting to have them back and have them engaged once again in Arizona high school football. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't shocked by some of the stuff I didn't really know was going on at Maryville. As in, a lot of these kids they've never, I talking with Mark and Marcus Carter, right? They've never gone through a weight program. They've never gone through an off season. They've never had a spring ball. They've never been coached properly. They don't know, how to, even some of the basic things like route trees, like a lot of these kids don't know these basic football fundamentals. And so when I went to their, spring practice, it was a lot of teaching the kids the basics and teaching them, how to really play football at a high level. And so it was really cool to see some of the teammates interacting with each other and just teaching one another. There were some language boundaries. It was cool to see those things work together. And then also with Carters, obviously, they have such an elite knowledge of ball and just keep being able to see, what's, why, God put them on this earth and what they're here to do. It was cool to see them work out their vocation in that way.
Man, I love that. I love to hear that. All right, Desert Edge and their 72 Division I athletes that they have in the program. Who stood out though?
It might be 150 Division I athletes. I'm not really sure because I couldn't count them all with my two hands. I needed my toes too. But man,
and the ultra perm and the ultra perm. Shout out to Vince Amy. Shout out to Vince Amy. Coach Vince Amy.
Oh, that's a whole nother story for another time. But they've got some dogs, and I think that the biggest thing about Desert Edge is they're so young, right? They have two big seniors that are contributors in Cameron Hamiel and then obviously Jelani Miller. Those are really their big two Division I senior contributors. The rest of their guys, class of 2028 guys, class of 27 guys. Yazine Zion is really a kid whose recruitment has blown up in this offseason, the 27. Obviously, Jelani George, we saw his recruitment kind of pick up towards the end of last season, and teams are still loving him right now. And then Blake Roscoff as well, probably going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the state next season. So really excited to see what these young guys are able to do. And I have to be honest and tell the truth that Desert Edge is probably my favorite team right now to win the 5A again next season.
Ooh. All right. Hey, listen, let's go ahead and stay on the West Side since we're showing the West Side some love. You went out to all the showcases. You saw a whole bunch of kids working. One of them in particular who's been absolutely killing it on the camp circuit. I got to see him at Under Armour doing his thing. Tweet from Adam Beadle talking about Ben Lowther, the super talented offensive lineman from Centennial, and they got a few of them over there. What was it about Ben Lowther that intrigued you so much?
Yeah, I think he's just obviously you look at his size, the dude is ginormous. And I think his presence is just going to be sort of just, a killer for other teams. And he's a class of 2027 kid, but he's also a leader, right? He's out there as a starter. I see him, helping the other guys, even the older guys and the younger guys, just getting better. And so I think the big thing with Centennial, especially this offensive line, because I know they have a couple kids. Obviously, like Carmelo Callaway is another Division I kid they've got on that offensive line. Wow. But I think he's going to have the opportunity to really step up as a young leader. And I think that's something college coaches have taken attention to. Obviously, with some of the offers he's got, Arizona State, Cal, Texas A&M, Washington, right? I think that he is really going to excel into a great prospect. And I'm just excited to see how he works this season and how he's able to stop, defensive lines, because Centennial is going to have in my opinion, one of the most underrated offenses this season because they got a couple of key weapons, and especially a guy like Sebastian Moreno who didn't see the field last season. I don't think people are ready for the year he's going to have.
Hey, talk to me about the coaching change over there. Was there anything that you saw in drills or during the practice or during the showcase or whatever that gave you any idea that there might be a little bit of a setback or just because of the differences? I love baby Coach Taylor, and I think that he's ready to take the reins. If anybody is ready to step in and take the reins from Papa Coach Taylor, it's definitely going to be Andrew Taylor, his son. So anything that you saw that stood out in practice and how he ran it?
In terms of setbacks, I don't think there's going to be any setbacks whatsoever. I think Centennial's already going to have a better year this year in the regular season than they did last year. To be fair, I don't think we're going to see anything like the run they went on ever again. That doesn't happen. And wasn't supposed to happen, but it did, and credit to Coach Taylor. I'm really excited for Andrew Taylor and what he's going to do. I think it's good that there's a little bit younger, not fresh, but he's still a younger guy. Not a fresh face because he's been there for a while, but right. Just excited to see it looks like I think the bonus for Coach Taylor is that he already has a really good relationship with this team and with most of the guys on this team. They won a state championship together. He's coached the defense, right? So I think it's more going to be we know he can run a defense. Let's see how the offense runs. Let's see how he can command that, and he can kind of call some of the shots there. I know he's not the play caller out there, but when you're the head coach, some of those right. decisions on offense still fall on you.
And he's got a super talented coaching staff. Just a couple of them, Coach Bennett on the offensive side, and then obviously Coach Carter coaches those DBs. Track advocate Elijah Carruthers is going to be a monster, and I can't wait to see what they got going on over there. Moving on. We're going to talk about a couple of these guys. We're going to move over to the Scottsdale Showcase where we got to see teams like Horizon get loose. One kid in particular over there at Horizon that stood out to you, Preston Burke, this tight end, H-back, fullback type. Big fella. Yeah. Man, what was it about him that made you turn your head that you were just like, hey, this is a guy that deserves some attention, recognition, and needs to get more juice?
Yeah, so Preston was actually a kid. I was out there and I had no clue who it was. And so I go up to Coach Dittmore and I'm like, hey, Coach Dittmore, who's this 6'7", 220 kid you got running routes? And obviously that's Preston Burke. Preston played football his freshman year and his junior year and decided not to play football last season to focus on baseball. but Coach Ditmore is able to reel him back in. And this is a kid I don't think, the rest of these Scottsdale schools are going to be ready for, just because there's no film. There really is no film on him. He played freshman ball. He played JV ball. We've never seen him play a snap of varsity. And so he really impressed me just with his size, obviously being 6'7", 220. And I think there's a couple things I'm looking forward to seeing develop over the next, this offseason heading into this season. But when you've got a guy on that size in the offense that can do the things that I hope and I think he can do, he's going to be an exciting prospect to watch. And I would be interested to see if, some of those teams that, are still recruiting 26s late, which I always stress, to the graduating class, just like we did the 25s, right? Just because it's April and you haven't found a college yet doesn't mean some colleges aren't still recruiting. And so he's a kid I think is going to kind of be one of those late recruits.
Okay.
But I would expect him to make some noise in his senior season.
All right. Real quick, we are going to take a break here for a second and talk about what happened before the showcase. Me and my boy, Adam Beadle, we met up I'd like to say for some food, but yeah, we went to DeFalco's Deli. Great place, by the way.
Fantastic.
There is no shade here other than we ordered an absurd amount of food.
We messed up. That was our
on accident. On accident. I did not know that the calzones there were that big. That was literally like a medium pizza folded in half. And we decided to split that. Mandate and everything. But in addition to that, we got our own sandwiches. We got our own full-size sandwiches.
Oh my gosh.
And me and Gridiron, who has Inside the Numbers coming up right after this, me and Gridiron have been there, and we did not split the calzone, but we did get our own sandwiches. And like, I just thought that the calzone was going to be smaller. Listen, guys, go to DeFalco's Deli, order food, but be prepared. If you order too much, you're definitely getting boxes to go home and stuff. How long because we finished the calzone there, did not touch the sandwiches. How long did the sandwich last you?
Well,
2 days?
I was so hungry that night after Scottsdale because I was just walking around in the sun. I ate one half of the sandwich when I got home, and then I ate the other half of the sandwich the next day for lunch with more chips, not the bag of chips that I bought, the bag of chips that I had in my pantry. And so it definitely was a solid, 3 meals for sure. We ate at like 3:00.
Yeah.
So it was a later lunch, but oh man, it was so good.
I was still full from the calzone. I had more of the calzone than you did. And my man Adam, he literally got like the meat lovers calzone with like sausage and pepperoni and all that stuff. And like, I was still full when I got home at like 8:00. Like, yeah. I literally crashed out. By
the way, I've never had ham on a pizza before, and I know calzone's not pizza, but it's basically pizza. It was good. I liked it. I liked ham on a pizza.
I would do it again. It was so legit.
Not sponsored, but go to DeFalco's because the food there is gas.
Yeah, and if we can get the sponsorship, that'd be super dope.
We'll take it.
Absolutely sponsor a segment, and let's get. We work for food, right? We work for food, and anytime we cover Saguaro or maybe even Arcadia and Chaparral, we'll stop by DeFalco's and go get some food, and maybe in the preseason too. So as we move on, another kid who I absolutely love. I'm super excited to talk about him because I don't think that he's gotten enough credit for some of the things that he's done. Is Gunnar Fagrell. This is from his unofficial to Hawaii. Super talented gunslinger over there at Higley, who has turned out a bunch of high-level quarterbacks that have committed D1 and gotten some opportunities. Gunnar Fagrell took them to a championship, got them a championship, and then came in for Luke Halgo last year. Your thoughts on Gunnar Fagrell and what he is destined for in the 6A with Higley leading them?
The real reason why I wanted to touch on Gunnar was because I want to give Gunnar the light that he truly deserves, right?
His flowers.
He want to give him his flowers. He he wasn't anywhere near, varsity starter in 22 when Higley won the championship with Jamar Malone. He was there in 2023 when they won it the next year. He led them to that championship. And then obviously last year too, stepping up big time. And now come 2025, 2025 season, that is, this is the year that, it's his. Like, I was talking to Coach Zuby, right? Coach Zuby's telling me that, this is the first year Gunnar is going into the season, not competing for the starting spot. And he's
deserved.
It's well deserved, beyond deserved. And I'm just excited to see how he works. Higley this season, they don't have some of the same weapons they've had in years past, but they got guys like John Asaro, and obviously Keegan Peterson working his way back from injury, a couple other guys there too.
Daniel Zuby. Daniel Zuby doesn't get enough credit for the work that he does. Mostly because I think that he's like Coach's kid and stuff like that. But Daniel Zuby, clever little route runner over there, and can make some plays when called upon.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to give Gunnar his flowers, and I'm really excited to see just how much he works this season. And I think that, hopefully it gives having this starting spot and not competing gives him an extra little boost of confidence. See him put up some big numbers this season.
And he looks great. He really looks right now. He looks like he put on a healthy 12 to 15 pounds of muscle, since last season, doing a great job keeping his body right. I saw him taking off his shirt, making sure that all the colleges could see how well put together he is. Hey, listen, sometimes you got to do those type of things. Like I remember when Manziel was doing his workouts and stuff, rather than just doing t-shirt and shorts, he's like, hey, look, I'm going to put on a football helmet and shoulder pads to show these coaches that I can throw with the equipment on. And I thought at the time, I thought that was genius, because I know that there were like some questions because of height and all that stuff. Like, so sometimes you got to get clever with how you are going to showcase yourself. And I thought that was a great idea. So shout out to Gunnar. And I'm excited to see how he makes sure that this Higley offense doesn't lose a step. Moving on. Speaking of quarterbacks
and a quarterback who's got size.
Yeah, going absolutely bonkers with recruiting, Perry's own, and he's absolutely destroyed the camp circuit. I saw him at Elite 11. I saw him at Under Armour in Salt Lake City, and I'm pretty sure he's not done. So Cale Snyder has been going absolutely crazy with his recruiting. Why don't you go ahead and talk about this a little bit and maybe some of what you saw at the showcase?
Well, first thing I get there and I go, this kid is way bigger than he was last year. Cale's put on a really good 15 to 20 pounds since last season. He's right now, his Twitter bio says he's 6'3", 215, which seems pretty accurate. And man, I think he got somewhere around 15 Division I offers this spring, somewhere around that number. Already adding to the amount he has, obviously picking up Arizona State. That's a big one. And here's just another great quarterback that's about to come out of Perry High School, right? We've seen the Brock Purdy's, we've seen the Chubba Purdy's, and now we're about to see Cale Snyder. So it's a pretty exciting time, and I think that Perry is going to continue the trend that they've been on the last few years, which is just getting better and better and better and better every year. Although they're still not going to beat Hamilton,
Dang.
But I'm excited to watch Cale this season, and especially with the size he's put on, and obviously he's got weapons like Amos Augustine, and Talon Frazier, a couple of those guys, and some extra help in the offensive line. I'm sure it helps when your dad is coaching those boys, right? You don't want your son getting trampled over by some defensive linemen. So I'm excited to watch this Perry team this season, and especially excited to watch Cale and just see how much he grows from last year to this year, which I think is going to be a huge amount.
All right. Hey, look, you brought up that they're not going to beat Hamilton, but what's your projection for their game versus Basha? Your way early projection, because look, the Battle of Val Vista is what's really important to them. So I got to put you on the spot now, since you already said it. They're not going to beat Hamilton. How are they going to fare versus Basha? What's that going to look like? Is it going to be a wild shootout, wild west style, or is Basha going to be able to slow this thing down, keep Cale off the field, and take advantage? What are your thoughts, real quick? I just got to know.
I think that Bash is going to put a running clock on Perry.
Oh no! I
said it. It's out there in the open. Clip me. I don't care.
Oh no, it's okay. Wow.
I'm gonna see now they're gonna win.
Sheesh.
See now they're gonna win, and I'm gonna see this on some like mixtape in like November. That's like Bash is gonna put a running clock on Perry, and that's gonna be like Kale Snyder like flexing in the end zone. It's gonna be tough.
Sheesh, they gonna talk to you later. Yikes. That's the biggest. That might. I don't know about hot take. That might be the biggest
Listen,
take.
I'm not afraid.
So
I'm not afraid to make these call outs, to make these. This is what I
man.
see. This is what I think. I'm gonna tell the real honest truth, because that's what we're doing here.
That's the truth. Okay. All right.
That's the juice.
Listen, hey,
that's the juice, Chili.
Speaking of the truth, let's talk about this Williams Field offensive line. That is absolutely insane. Omar, Malachi, Colin, these guys are absolute problems in the trenches. You said that you were kind of like taken aback by these mammoths when you went out there to the Williams Field Showcase. This team looks crazy, and they remind me of some of the championship teams that they had. Why don't we just get into what you just process it, just spill it?
Yeah.
This
Listen,
if
Williams Field doesn't run a whole lot of 21 personnel with not only the offensive line they got and the running backs, I'm going to be severely disappointed, because they've got some dudes, some dogs. And I, like you said, I was just appealed by this offensive line. I'm excited to see how they move around. They had, if I remember correctly, when I was watching them, Colin was lined up at left tackle, Malachi was at right tackle, and then they had Omar at left guard, which I think, with how big of an offensive lineman, because you look at this offensive line, even the guys that are on there that, aren't Division I guys, are still pretty sizable dudes. And so I'm interested to see in how they work these guys around in different packages. I think there's certain times, we could see Omar line up at right tackle. I think Colin is, solidified himself as he's that left tackle. But I'd be interested to see how these guys work around it, different packages, and obviously talk about 21 personnel. They got a block for their two running backs, Q Skillings and Corshawn Hill, who also are going to have big years if we're even talking about Williams Field. It all starts up front, right? And this Williams offensive line is going to seriously set the tone for what kind of year they are going to have. And I think if the offensive line has a really good year, Williams Field's going to have a really good year.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the opportunity for Don Barjona to go crazy, use weapons like Trey Smith and Booker and some of those guys. But I gotta say, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, these boys, like I already kind of knew like they were big. I saw Colin at ASU. I saw Malachi at a off-season camp. I know Omar's absolutely mammoth, but like these guys are big. It's one of the better offensive lines that I've seen in the offseason.
I will say the big thing about Williams Field, I feel like, is a year-to-year thing. We see them kind of get hot, and then they cool down for a while, and they can't really put it together at the end of the season. And I think with the guys that they have, they're going to be able to do that this year. I think they're going to be able to make a deep playoff run, and really prove a lot of people wrong. And I think they stay healthy, and they can, finish strong, close out the season, and do really good in region play. I think that they're going to have a pretty successful year.
Close out the season. So that means that you think that they're going to get Higley. They've struggled with Higley the past few years. I know that they got something up in their, I want to say it's their field house or something like that. And they don't like the way it's gone the last 2 years, obviously, for all the right reasons. But that means that you think that they're going to get Higley and change those fortunes. Yeah.
I think early, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take Williams Field over Higley.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure. I'm not going to make you get too in depth with that. I don't want to put that pressure.
We'll save that for the actual week of the game, and then I feel like we've had this I feel like this is a conversation we have every single year, and I keep doubting because I'm in freshman ball. The first year you and I really did freshman together, that would have been, that was Dom's freshman year, right? So that would have been that Williamsfield team with John, with John and Trey and Dom and
Casper,
and then there was Palco's freshman year. And Who won that game?
That game, Williamsfield won.
Okay.
Williamsfield won that game.
Yeah, so I think
it got close. It got close at the end. Remember?
It did. Yeah, I remember that because and Higley was up like 14-0 to start, weren't they? Somebody was up 2 scores to start the game.
I want to say Williamsfield was up big early, and then
Maybe
Higley
that's what it
came
was.
storming back,
Maybe
and
that's what it
Palka.
was.
It was Palka time, Palka, and it was, man, that kid went absolutely bonkers in the second half. I want to say close that thing to like made it one score, and
Because they
Williamsville
did
held
an
on. Long story
onside kick
short,
on the end, didn't they? And then Williamsville recovered it and they won the game.
I do remember Williamsville won the game, and it got a little scary. So
Yeah.
it was exciting. It was exciting. That's this class that we're going to see playing. So we'll see how that thing goes.
Yeah.
But I know Zuby got some tricks up his sleeve. He's kind of a magician with this stuff. So I'm curious to see how this all works out. Coach Campbell's absolutely great, and he's got the team that he wants. And I remember talking to Coach Campbell years ago, and he kind of brought this up. And now that I've seen the way things kind of work for Williamsville, he told me, he's like, man, he's like, Chili, like this thing comes in cycles. Like every couple years, I get the line that I want. We have the athletes that I need, and we go on a big run. And sure enough, he's not lying. Zach Shepard, Mason Bug, and now Don Barjona is going to be a beneficiary of that. And we're going to see how this works. This is a team that is, I think is either on the cusp of the Open or it has to be a 6A favorite.
Yeah, with the fact that there's no 5A teams in the Open this year, I would more than be happy to take the chance that Williamsfield going into the year would be considered as one of those bubble Open teams. I don't think there's I haven't made my final rankings or anything whatsoever to conclude whether or not they are in or on the bubble or not in the Open, but just off the dome. I would consider them to be, a bubble Open team to start the year.
Okay. So that means that I still know what I'm talking about a little bit. You haven't retired me yet. Thank you so much. I saw the post on Instagram and I reposted it.
I can't believe everybody thought you were retiring. I was like, what?
I don't know. I got like 5 calls like, hey, Chili, are you not gonna do this anymore? I was like, no. I was like, just Adam Beadle and BJ Media literally put in all the work. And I just wanted to give you guys your flowers while you guys are so young and can still smell them.
I appreciate that.
There's that. But before that, speaking of flowers, we are going to finish this segment off, the Beetlejuice segment, Beetlejuice, talking about the one and only Devin Fitzgerald, who has announced his commitment date of July 5th. So that's about a week after OT7. He makes I think they're going to be out there at OT7 or NAU. I'm not sure which one he's doing. I think Brophy's at NAU, but I know Tucson Turp's at OT7, and I know Devin Fitzgerald obviously plays with both. So what I think is really, really cool is he's going to take this opportunity to make his commitment on July 5th, and maybe have like his team around or whatever, do something broadcasted. But UCLA, Clemson, Stanford, Notre Dame, North Carolina, and ASU all have visits scheduled, except ASU is to be determined. We were out there for the showcase, and we got to watch him perform in front of a bunch of coaches, one of those being ASU wide receiver coach Hines Ward. And I saw him getting very, very chummy, having a very great, friendly conversation with the coach from Pittsburgh, too. So your thoughts real quick on Devin Fitzgerald, opinion only, thoughts where he might end up, thoughts of, what might be a good fit.
I think opinion or guess to say, I think the front two that immediately stick out to me are North Carolina and Notre Dame. I talked to him a couple weeks before the showcase just about his recruitment, and he talked a little bit about his conversations with Bill Belichick, which I thought were really cool. He said that he was at a North Carolina practice, and Bill invited him out to come stand basically in the middle of practice, and he said they talked for quite a while. And I know that Bill for a fact is wanting to build up that former NFL player connection to North Carolina. And obviously we all know who Devin's dad is and what he did in the NFL. But I think Notre Dame is another team too. They, have had a lot of success in the last few years. But one thing I will say is I don't think Notre Dame has really had a prominent wide receiver. Like we haven't really heard, a top, maybe 10 to 5 maybe wide receiver come out of Notre Dame in a while. And I think if I'm Notre Dame, my my recruiting, pitch to Devin might be, hey, you could be the next great wide receiver at Notre Dame. And I know they've got some quarterbacks coming in. Obviously, UCLA has a great quarterback that's coming in this year, and Nico Amavayava. And then Clemson, Cade Klubnik, and obviously, Stanford. I don't really know. They just haven't had a lot of success. I would not be surprised though if Kenny Dillingham comes in the 11th hour and does something to go, hey, Devin, why don't you come stay home and be a Sun Devil? Obviously, that official visit is still TBD. But this could be, landing Devin could be Kenny Dillingham's first major, huge Arizona, out of high school commitment. Obviously, there's been a lot of guys that have come out of the transfer portal and have come to Arizona State, but this could be, the splash that Kenny makes in state. And I hear a lot of things that, and this is a whole nother story just about Arizona State recruiting, how, they're not recruiting the state of Arizona a whole lot. That's not
true.
They are, they really are. And I think that's, like I said, I think that there is a world where Kenny Dillingham could come in the 11th hour if Arizona State ends up being the last visit. I just say last because it's obviously TBD after North Carolina on June 20th, but I think it's going to come down to those three schools on the right side, in Notre Dame, North Carolina, and ASU.
All right. So you like Notre Dame and North Carolina at the front of that. I like UCLA and ASU at the front of this. And one, I will say, I think Burl Toller is a great recruiter and does a great job communicating with some of these Arizona kids. He's done so in the past. Also, I am fascinated that Devin would turn in a top 6 with one school having a TBD. And I know it's a school in his backyard. He can go there whenever he wants. And I think that's the fascinating part about it. He could look. He might love the
and that might be the truth.
Or Stanford, and then all of a sudden ASU just gets to sweep him off his feet, and make the best sales pitch. And Coach Dillingham, I think, does an amazing job communicating with all these young athletes. I think that they all legitimately have a certain amount of love for him in their hearts. So I'm excited to see what happens with this. I can't wait to see who he decides on. I am going to probably try to get him on my show at some point. When I do that, Beadle, I'm going to have you on standby so that afterwards you can break down the way the conversation went and really give me your thoughts on what you think he's going to do.
Let's lock it in.
Base. So
let's lock it in.
I
will say you hit it spot on with the fact that it is, ASU being on their TBD. Obviously, he might still be scheduling a visit, but it is kind of the bonus factor that the Sun Devils are right in his backyard. And I think that Brophy is going to ASU 7s at some point. I'm not sure. I think they are. And but like you said, like he could go to Notre Dame on June 13th, come home and just, decide he wants to go hang out at ASU for an unofficial visit on June 16th, right?
100%.
Because you get unlimited of those. So
yeah,
that's kind of the benefit. And I will say, I know that Marcus Arroyo and Brian Ward were both at that Brophy showcase. So I'm just really interested to see how this all plays out. It's a very exciting recruitment. And I'm glad that he is, taking his time with it, and also that he has a target date that he's going to do.
Man, I've literally known the kid, literally like forever. I watched him kind of grow up ish from afar, working his dad's celebrity softball games and things like that. So it's just been cool seeing the evolution. And what a lot of people don't know or remember or whatever, super talented golfer. My man can golf a little bit, and I heard that he's heavy in this pickleball game. So, Adam, I don't know how much pickleball.
Oh, I might have to challenge him to that.
Oh yeah, so you're like that too, huh?
I'm not bad. I think consider myself to be pretty good at pickleball. Golf definitely not. We're not going to talk about what I just scored at Bear Creek last week, but pickleball, I might have a shot against a Division I wide receiver. Maybe.
Okay, we're gonna have to like set that up. We're gonna have to find a pickleball court and set that thing up. Hey, listen, Beadle, I'm super grateful that you decided to step up and hang out with your boy a little bit on the show and
Why not?
give us a juice, recruiting scoop, and all that stuff. So because one, you went nonstop for 2 weeks. Sometimes you got to take a break, and I know that you are in the midst of getting ready for a vacation of sorts. What are you going to do to take some time off to relax, kick your feet up, and live a little?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I haven't been playing video games nonstop for the last 2 days.
What are you playing?
I playing college football, man. I love that game. It's great. I'm working on
PS or Xbox?
PS5. I'm working on a New Mexico dynasty right now. So I've got Devin and Eli in the backfield. Devin just graduated though, so I had to bring in a new quarterback from the transfer portal.
Oh wow!
So, but it's good.
Arizona kid?
No, I don't know. He was just some random kid. I was like, oh, you are high rating. I'll have you. So, but that's my pipeline. I've got like an Arizona pipeline that feeds into my recruiting in New Mexico. So, but yeah, and then taking a little trip to Mexico at the end of May, and that'll be rejuvenating. And then no, I won't drink the water. And then back
drink
to
the Coca-Cola though.
We've got I love Mexican Coke. It's so good. It's except I can't have too much soda, otherwise. Yeah, Mexican Coke. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Chili.
I just wanted to make sure because somebody's gonna come around and clip the segment and be like, "Oh, Beadle." It's gonna be all those Perry kids that you decided to do dirty. They're gonna clip the segment where you say, "I love Mexican Coke," and then they're gonna make memes of you like joining the cartel or something like that and being a mule or something. I just want to make sure that we make it clear: Mexican Coke, the drink. Because it's because of the sugar. So
yeah, it makes me like I can't drink too much soda. Like I love root beer. Like I'm a root beer enthusiast. I go like everywhere I go. So there's this place in St. Louis called Fitz's, and the root beer is fantastic. And so they have a restaurant so whenever I go to St. Louis, they have a restaurant that's connected with their whatever root beer brewery. That's the best way to describe it. And then they have like bottomless root beer for like $3. So I just destroy it, but it's so good. And I found it at Shoppers a couple of times, but I usually, whenever I go to St. Louis, I go to the airport and then I just pack my suitcase with a couple cans of it, and then I'm good for like, I don't know, 2 months. But
all right.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Hey, the Voice and Face of Flight Club, we are going to get some broadcast thing going of some sort. Not sure if it's live streaming, vlog style, or whatever, but Adam Beadle bringing the juice. Beetlejuice. I appreciate you stopping by. And I'm going to catch up with you down the line. We already got you set up for after the Devin Fitzgerald interview. I'm not sure if it's going to be before or after commitment, but if it's before his commitment, we'll break down what you think he's going to do. And then if it's after his commitment, we'll break down how you think that it's going to play out. So I'm super excited for that. And I will catch you down the line. Cool.
Perfect. Thanks, Chili. See you.
Don't forget, forks up. The numbers guy. Look at that sharp outfit.
Well, I don't grind like Adam there, man. He just keeps going.
Grind differently. Yeah. Grind differently. So you're a digital grinder. So okay, hold on 1 second.
Oh, there we go. Look
Sports
at
Network
timing. Things coming through now.
Tommy Knockers in Idaho Springs, Colorado. Best root beer ever. Look, I'm not like a root beer enthusiast like them, but what I will say is I really like IBC in the bottle. So that root beer seems to be a little bit different than all the others.
Culver's has their own root beer that they have at their dispensers.
Are you a root beer savant also?
I'm not a savant by any means, no.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Hey, look, Beadle, Epic Sports, my guy, James Poovey. If you guys want to bring me a bottle of this special root beer from wherever, I'd be down to have it on my show, because I do got to give a shameless plug real quick. Oh my gosh, I forgot to do this. So somebody asked me, hey, Chili, what are you drinking on the sideline when I was over there at the Lake Forest Showcase camp, which was absolutely amazing. Shout out to Coach Catanzaro. I was drinking
Pinnacle.
Yeah. I was drinking this. It's called Bacardi Sweat. It's like a hydration drink.
Has electrolytes?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what it has. I had one. I had one time. So shameless plug for them because they saw me drinking this. I don't know. They saw me.
Does it have a flavor, or does it taste like water?
It doesn't taste so. It doesn't taste like water.
Okay.
It's somewhat of an. I want to say it's somewhat of an acquired taste, but it tastes way like 100 times better on ice, like cold. It tastes like 100 times better. It's somewhat similar to like the Gator Lights, but it's an acquired taste, and it
no sugar.
I just don't know. I just don't know how to explain it.
Is there sugar in it?
Yeah, total sugar is 29 grams.
That's sugar.
Yeah. Well, no, I just said total sugar.
No.
I was trying to be transparent with you. Look, these are the things, the numbers for the numbers guy. It's got like some like
a lot of sugar.
Yeah, 29 grams. Look, I mean, it's a hydration drink, so like it's trying to whatever. Give me
water is a hydration drink too.
Water is a hydration drink, but sometimes I need something that's gonna hydrate me a little bit quicker. And I don't know, maybe it's a mind thing. I can't remember who really put me onto this, but this I don't know. Like, what's it called? I was out and about with Blair and Gulo, and he put me on from 24/7. And he put me on to Gator Light, which is like Gatorade's hydration drink, and it was good. It was good, but it was like super salty. It was like super salty at first. When I tasted it, the first time I ever had one, it was like super salty. So it's been crazy. So like when I'm traveling and I don't have Pocari Sweat, shameless plug, on me, readily on me, I will go to like a 7-Eleven or a Circle K or something, and I will go grab a Gator Light. Unless I do see a Pocari Sweat, shameless plug again. They
get in the stores.
They have contributed. You know what? In addition to the country archer beef jerky that I've saved for you, I'm also gonna bring you Pocari Sweat, so that way you can taste it. And it's too much sugar. Is it really?
I'm diabetic, so
okay.
I do the Gatorade Zero and the Powerade Zero. So
what's the cutoff in a drink for you that like you're like okay?
I usually drink when I'm drinking soda. I usually just drink diet soda. So.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, more Pocari Sweat for me.
More for you. There you go.
All right. Hey, look, showcase season was absolutely insane. Me and you have to get back to schedule at some point. That's going to start next week.
Maybe next week. Yeah. We had 2 weeks of showcases. Last week we talked about guys from the first week. So this week we go fast food, if you will. We got 5 guys.
Yes, but
so we look at 5 guys from showcases from last week. And before I get to that, I do have to put one thing out there. For Beadle putting the stuff on the line there with Perry, he's protected for the most part in predicting that they will not beat Hamilton because they don't play Hamilton during the regular season this year. They could meet up in the 6A playoffs. They could meet up in the Open, but they do not play in the regular season this year.
Yeah, but he said that they was going to get the running clock.
Yeah, that was just against Basha, and they are playing Basha. That is the final week of the regular season, as it should be, the battle for Val Vista. Yes.
That's tough. All right. Before we get into any more of that talk, let's do this week 2 Arizona showcases. I went out to a lot of these schools, and I got to see a bunch of these kids. I'm gonna run through them, and then Gridiron's gonna pick his 4 or 5 favorite kids. Well, there was more schools because last time.
Well, there were 5 days of showcases, and some days you had 3 Chandler schools, or some days you had 2 different ones going on at night in different parts of the valley. So, yeah, all told, you probably had like 15 showcases during the 5 days.
Yeah, and I got to make it out to some of them. One of them that I made it out to was in Scottsdale. Talk about that and the whole DeFalco's deli. Good debacle, but we ordered a lot of food. Got to see my guy Tristan Armstrong, super talented receiver over there at Saguaro. I think that he's due to have a big year. Another kid that I got to see that I was super excited to see was Ryan McDonough, who I know has picked up a few offers or whatever. Super talented 2-way athlete. Play some offense, play some defense. Last year, I think he was focused more on defense, playing defensive back. Also play some wide receiver. Also made my way out to Chandler to catch some of these kids. One that stood out to me, offensive lineman Blake Spear, big fella, going to be protecting Will Menzel, whose recruitment's also started to pick up. And Will Menzel, need him around because he needs to get the ball to my man Jai Jones. So there's that. After that, I did find some time to go to Higley, where we saw John Asaro, who I think is going to step out and have a big year with his quarterback, Gunnar Fagrell. Also, another kid, a couple kids in the Chandler area that I got to check out. Trey Knox, the DB from Basher, who's had a hell of a track season.
Yeah.
And Marquise Richardson from Hamilton, the long defensive back. I guess maybe he could be an outside linebacker. I'm not sure how they want to manipulate him and use him and stuff, but definitely a talented kid who's going to find his place on the defense. Also, I made my way out to Gilbert for the Highland Showcase. I got to see a bunch of their kids. They have these twins, Zeus and Hades Vasquez.
Zeus and Hades.
Zeus and Hades.
The Greek gods coming at
Yes. Yes. And they have I think they have a sister who's also a super talented athlete, and her name is Athena, which I think is so awesome. So legit. And they got some fast kids over there. I know that Cody pointed that out in a tweet. I should have clipped it, but they got some fast kids over there, Greg Crandall and all of them. They got some dudes. So super excited for what Highlands got. But I did get to see Santan Charters two-way athlete Brody Prassis, the younger brother of one Tom Prassis from Basha. So
now at BYU.
Yeah, super talented kid. And this kid can absolutely go. Watch him work at the Lake Forest camp, killing it as a receiver. Speaking of receivers, I got to stop by Brophy in addition to Devin Fitzgerald. I saw his cousin Jalen Fitzgerald, the long 6'4" tight end wide receiver. This kid could be an absolute problem and might definitely be one eaten thanks to
he's a 27, right?
Yeah. Thanks to Devin and Dalen and Don, the 3Ds, getting all that attention. Jalen Fitzgerald could definitely be one that eats. Also, they got this super special defensive back over there that I absolutely loved him last year. Love him again this year. James Pike, this kid is super high IQ, going to be an absolute steal for somebody. So some of you colleges, make sure that y'all pay attention. Go to Brophy and go grab my guy James Pike. Give him an opportunity. Running back from Williamsfield that me and Beadle talked about briefly. Q Skilling is going to be eaten with that offensive line, and Corshawn Hill and Don Barjona in the backfield. Another quarterback that really stood out, transfer kid going to Red Mountain, Dom Carmigiano. Got to watch him at Chandler. Split reps last year, and then I also got to watch him his freshman year. I think that this kid's got a lot of tools, and I think Coach Enders is going to have a great one for those back five if he doesn't win an appeal of sorts.
He'll be a junior here, right?
Yes. Is he a junior?
27.
No, he's a 26.
Is he a 26?
Dom is a 26. I believe he's a 26. I could be wrong. I'll let you look it up.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. 26.
Okay. I'm usually not wrong about those things. Sometimes I am, but usually not. All right. Tight end Bear Fisher from Queen Creek, really impressed. That kid's an absolute monster in the making. But he's already made. So they've done some good things with tight ends over there at Queen Creek. My guy, Coach Sherman, making that thing work. ALA Queen Creek, offensive line, big fellas has been a thing for them. Braden Chick, this kid is going to be an absolute problem in the trenches. Defensive linemen are going to have their hands full trying to get to the quarterback, trying to get to Britton DeWitt. It's Braden Chick's job to make sure that defensive linemen do not introduce themselves to Britton, so he's going to make that thing work. Offensive lineman from Pinnacle, Julian, Big Jew Jenkins. He wants to be called Big Jew.
Big Jew.
So we are going to call him Big Jew and not get canceled. So
if the kid okays it, we can say that one.
Big Jew is going to be a big problem for a lot of people. Two-way kid.
Pinnacle's had some big linemen in the past.
Can work both sides of the trenches. Great feet, good hands. This kid is going to be a nightmare, and he's a 2027. So we get to talk about Big Jew for 2 years. So I'm super excited. Also, another kid that stood out to me, defensive back Elijah Carruthers, spectacular defensive back from Centennial, coached by Coach Carter, who's been doing a great job coaching defensive backs over there.
He moved over to Centennial, right?
What's up?
He just moved over to Centennial, right?
He moved over to Centennial. He was there last.
Was he there last year? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was there last year, and got a little brother over there too, putting in that work. But Gridiron, I'm gonna let you pick your 5 favorite kids from this list. Hey, look, hey, hold on, but listen. First off, Gridiron puts together the entire list, so these are all his favorite kids. But he has to pick 4 or 5 that he can really focus on and go inside the numbers.
This would be a really long show.
Yeah. Otherwise, the show is going to be 3 hours long, and nobody wants.
We got to save some of these kids for future weeks, right?
100%. So, Gridiron, go ahead inside the numbers segment. Do your thing. Week 2 Arizona showcases.
Yep, we'll start with John Asaro from Higley, wide receiver, 5'9", 170, a 4.0 GPA. Was a second-team All-5A Northeast Valley Region returner last season. He's fast with great playmaking ability, has offers from Lake Forest and Central College in Iowa. Higley hosted their own showcase practice last Tuesday afternoon. Last season, Asaro, 17 catches, 236 yards, and had 217 kick return yards for a 27-yard average. Higley made the Open Division last year. They have to replace JT Taylor, Drake Walton, and JD DeCosmaker. So that's their top 3 receivers. So there's plenty of room and plenty of catches to be made by Gunnar Fagrell, who of course is back to throw to Asaro over there at Higley. Marquise Richardson from Hamilton will go on the other side and go with the DB. 6'3", 195 safety, first team all 6A Premier Region. Last season, 82 tackles, 33 of them solo, 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles. Hamilton also made the Open Division last year. They also hosted their own showcase as part of the CUSD last Monday morning. Marquise has 7 offers, including Iowa State, Central Michigan, New Mexico, and Hawaii. Hamilton has made the Open Division 6 straight seasons. That is all the years of the Open. You got the guy you talked about, Brody Process from Santan Charter. We'll just call him an athlete. 5'9", 130, a wide receiver, defensive back. Was a first-team 2A Salt Region as a DB. Last season had 21 catches, 344 yards, and 9 touchdowns. And then defensively had 48 tackles and 4 interceptions. He was at that East Valley showcase at Highland last Friday. That was cool that Santan Charter was able to get out at one of those big showcases. You don't normally see the 2A schools out at those. Santan Charter.
I think this is the second or third year they've done it over there.
I him being there last year. Yeah.
12-1
last year was Santan Charter. The Roadrunners made the 2A semis, and Brody's just a 2-way difference maker. You talked about James Pike from Brophy, defensive back, 6 foot, 195, can play safety and linebacker. Was a first team 6A Central Region defensive utility flex player last season. Had 51 tackles, 37 of them solo, 3 interceptions, and 5 sacks. Brophy hosted their own showcase practice last Thursday during the day. He has offers from Drake and Fordham. James Power clean lifted 275 last month, and he can bench 305. Brophy, of course, played in the 6A semis last year and went 10-3. And then finally, Q Skillings from Williamsfield, 6'1", 205 running back, led Williamsfield in rushing last year with 769 yards, 14 TDs, was a second team all 6A East Valley region. Williamsfield hosted an East Valley showcase last Tuesday night. They had 3 of the East Valley showcases. This was one of them. Skillings and Corshawn Hill may be the state's best 1-2 punch at running back. And then, of course, you guys talked about their offensive line with Colin Campbell and Malachi Joyner and Omar Kaba. All of them have D1 offers. Williamsfield 4-7 last year, should make big moves in 25.
Dang, you like Q Skillings and Corshawn more than Noah Roberts and Josh Giddings?
And I know I saw both those guys, of course, during the postseason over there at Basha. I think
not trying to put you on the spot, but
I think Williamsfield is going to have to rely a little bit more on the run game. So you may see this duo get more carries. Basha tends to throw the ball a little bit more.
I think
But
that
from a recruitment standpoint, Noah Roberts is clearly the best of the group.
no, I mean, look, I'm just talking about the run game, the high school run game. And
As a
to be
1-2,
fair,
yeah, these guys are definitely top 2. So
to be fair, you might be right, and part of what goes into that equation is the superb offensive line that Williams Field has right now. That Bash is still, I think, trying to develop from what I saw. This Williams Field offensive line looks like they're about 5 or 6. So I think that this team is fully ready to make a run. Not that Basha is not.
And
because Basha has a whole bunch of weapons everywhere
by
else.
late in the season, Coach Kelly gets those guys went on the line over there.
Yeah, and listen, this Basha receiving core so deep. Cash, Brock,
and they're going to be able to spread
Baldwin.
the ball out really well. Yeah.
Yeah, they got a bunch of kids. This kid Tristan Saylor is going to be a sophomore, and I think that he's an absolute dude. He might have one of the higher ceilings of these 2028 receivers that's out there. He's put together well. He's got some juice. I think that he has a chance to be super special. So stay tuned on that one. And then they also obviously got the edge rusher that's getting a ton of attention right now, the young kid, Landon Wade. So, and I didn't really put too many of the Basha kids on there, but yeah, I could go forever on a bunch of these schools.
Were they there? Were they at the Highland one?
No.
They have their own CUSD.
They have their own CUSD.
Yeah, that's
one.
right. They did the Monday, Tuesday thing for the CUSD.
Yeah, and rightfully so, like because a lot of those schools in the CUSD have a billion kids that they probably require their own attention.
And they made theirs in the morning, so they weren't really competing with the evening ones.
Yeah, I know.
I'm assuming there were coaches that just made the trip and they went to one, and then they got in the car and drove a few miles and went to the next one.
Yep.
You hit three of them before lunch. So
your NAU guys did a great job out there recruiting. NAU did a great job recruiting. I saw Arizona out and about. I saw ASU. I saw all 3 locals out and about, killing it, absolutely killing it.
I saw Coach Iguano on some of the pictures there that he was out there checking out the talent.
Yeah, and Coach Regal made an appearance on some. He's probably one of the GOAT recruiters in the state of Arizona. So shout out to him.
He used to get all those guys out to Cal when he was there at Cal.
Yeah, no, he's done a great job recruiting the state. I think don't know if anybody's done better.
One year that he was there, they had 6 guys from Arizona end up going to Berkeley.
Yeah, that was the year. I think it was like Spencer Brash and the kid from Liberty and the big fella from Desert Vista and the wide receiver from like Red Mountain or the defensive back from Red Mountain. They had a bunch of them at the time. That was a good class. But yeah, man, there was a different. But another guy that recruits the area really well is Lake Forest coach of the year, Catazzaro. I think he does a great job recruiting the area. I saw a bunch of schools out there. Augustana was doing their thing.
An incredible amount of offers flying through since that Saturday camp.
Yeah, Simpson College was out here recruiting heavily. Another guy that's been putting in the work, Hamilton's own Coach Donnelly. I guess he played at Hamilton for a few years, put a couple of those banners up, and now he's doing his thing over there at Michigan Tech, a D2 school, and he's doing a great job out there. Recruiting.
I think they got a kid last year, if I recall.
I think you're right.
Dash Blake went. So I'm thinking.
Was it Dash Blake? I don't remember. Also, Idaho State was out heavy. Coach Blevins, the co-offensive coordinator over there, who's done a great job recruiting, obviously nabbing Wyatt Horton, one of our favorites, also getting Elijah Beeman.
They got both
Don Ruiz.
They got Dash Blake and they got Journey Solomon from Desert Mountain last year.
From Desert Mountain. Sheesh, those are good gets. Those are good gets. So shout out to them. Great job that they're doing. And Idaho State coming out here. Making sure that they create this pipeline and get more kids. So, look, showcases are done. we're back to schedules
Gotta
next
get
week.
kids out for Wyatt Horton.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
look, Wyatt's been out there working too, because I saw him at a handful of I saw him at the Pinnacle Showcase, and then I saw him at the Lake Forest camp. So he made sure to get his face out and about. Thursday night football schedule show coming Saturday, May 31st at Burrito Express in Tempe. Hey, that's big news. Burrito Express in Tempe, down the street.
I know you're a big fan of the Burrito Express.
I am a sponsor of Flight Club, so I want to show them love.
Like local.
Hey, since we're showing love to sponsors for Flight Club, shout out to Recruit ID. They've come up with that cool bracelet technology where you just boop, 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 touch it to the phone, and it gives all the coaches all your information. Shout out to my guy Papa Hidiosa from ALL.net, and shout out to my guy Gridiron Arizona, the one and only numbers guy for Flight Club. There's only one. There's only one numbers guy for Flight Club. It's Gridiron Arizona.
Hopefully someone else is running some numbers when it comes time to add up the wins and the total points to be seeding everybody.
Well, what's it called? I was asked if Damon Williams is still the leader in quarterback wins at Flight Club. The answer is yes, because I think he's somewhere like around 17. He played in Flight Club. Did he play in Flight Club? He played in all years, 3 years. So he did his thing. He wants to come out and do the NIL thing, but I know he's
didn't he come straight from Elite 11 one year?
Yeah. They set him up with the PJ, got him back to Arizona so that he could compete with Basha and put in the work. Hey, not mad at them. I'm super grateful. So they almost ran it back that year too. That was the second year. So shout out to Damon. Shout out to Cooper Perry, last year's Alpha Dog. Rumor has it he might make an appearance if he can, if Oregon will give him the time off. So let's hope and pray. I would like to get Luke Moga and Cooper Perry out there, NIL deals. But yeah, other than that, Gridiron, real quick, we're gonna make this fast. Diamondbacks not doing so bad right now.
I know you beat the Dodgers, yeah.
Look, they're comfortable in fourth place right now, but this is a tough
like
division.
Behind the Dodgers. I mean,
they're comfortable in fourth place. Like
they beat them tonight, they'll be 2 behind the Dodgers.
Yeah, no, I know, but they're just look. They can be comfortable in fourth place and then make their run because like this is a very, very tough division of baseball. This might be the toughest division in baseball. The Rockies suck, but
they do.
But the Padres, the Giants, the Dodgers, super competitive. I mean, the Dodgers did their thing last year, so I can't hit them. And they got the best player in the world. So there's that. Also, you're a Knicks fan, right? You're a Knicks fan for the next 2 weeks-ish, right? They got two of your guys. They got two of your guys.
I asked you last week, making sure they weren't going to blow it. There was no doubt about them winning that game 6. They just, but Boston was able to win one without Tatum. But they were
well, the Knicks wanted to win at home.
Yeah, they finally first time since '99 they clinched a series at home, and that gets started tomorrow night. Of course, Knicks in Indiana.
I'm excited. Suns Mercury got some weird things going on. The Suns got their weird things going on with their coach, and the Mercury got their weird things going on with their front office situation. I don't want to get too far into that, but they're undefeated.
It's the same people in charge, yeah.
But they are undefeated. They're undefeated. So I'm gonna show them love as long as they stay on the successful side of things. We talked about Lake Forest and their camp. They officially got the Cactus Bowl coming up. I'm not sure how much you know about that, but maybe we'll go.
They're playing a regular season game. It's at one of the Chandler schools, right?
It is. I think it's at Hamilton.
I want to say it's at Hamilton. Yeah, they're playing a regular season. I think it's their first game of the year, like the first or second week of September.
September 6th, I believe. Okay, and all proceeds go to the school, ticket sales and the concessions. So shout out to the schools.
Go to Hamilton or go to Lake Forest.
Go
I know which school you were talking about.
Going to Hamilton.
Going to Hamilton.
If they went to Lake Forest,
so I wasn't sure how this was working. I know if we were helping support Lake Forest.
Which we do. Which we do. But yeah, shout out to our guy, Coach Catanzaro, and the California school that they were playing. The game, it's going to be a great game. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about the California school, so all I can do is plug Lake Forest, show them the love, and I'll get to know.
I think Lake Forest. I want to say Lake Forest ran at 10-0 last year during the regular season.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Playoffs, yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me. Coach Catanzaro's done an amazing job the last few years getting things going, really building that program with his pipeline here to Arizona, here from Arizona, bringing in like 47? Was it 47, 46 kids up there to Lake Forest?
Yeah, it was in the high 30s when we looked last year. So we'll see what they get this year.
They got some dogs. And he's gonna have to get a State 48 tattoo sometime soon. So a shout out to Coach Catanzaro and the amazing job that he does over there. I'm definitely going to try to make it out to that game. I think that it's important that we all show some support. And
I get him with 19 signees from the 25 class.
Already?
Well, no, the 25 class.
Oh, the 25.
The one that already is still signing as of a couple weeks ago. They got 19 total new Foresters from Arizona that will be freshmen.
You guys, all right.
Yeah.
There's that. Gridiron.
They're probably graduating about 20. So
yes,
including AJ,
highly likely. Superstar AJ Jackson, who's going to get an opportunity.
All-American.
Yeah, absolute dog. All right, Gridiron. I'm going to catch up with you next week. We are going to break down some schedules and maybe do some other cool things. But before I let you go, I got to get you in on the action. Because
action.
The day that I do this, I am definitely going to make sure that we do a special Inside the Numbers-ish segment on one Devin Fitzgerald. Your thoughts over here?
That was July 5th. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Just your opinion.
It's a Saturday. So
just your opinion, your thoughts, where he might go. What are you thinking? What college?
I have no inside information on this.
I know.
I've not talked to anybody about it. I think Brophy's a very high quality education school, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him go to Stanford.
Oh wow! Okay, okay. I like that.
And I know you have the whole professional aspirations and everything, but at the end of the day, that Stanford degree would be pretty valuable too.
Hey, guys make it from Stanford. So, there's that. Okay. So you got Stanford. I got UCLA or ASU. Beadle's got Notre
Dame.
Yeah.
And he's right about Notre Dame not really having any big time receivers because I couldn't find it. I couldn't find too many in the NFL that I remembered playing at Notre Dame.
The last one was what? Samardzija or the guy that the Cardinals got that didn't really pan out.
Yeah.
Michael.
And they've had some guys get drafted. They have some guys in the league that play wide receiver. They're just not. They're not top flight guys that you'd be familiar with. A lot of Notre Dame guys in the NFL have been defensive guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's that. Gridiron, I really appreciate you hanging out with your boy, going inside the numbers. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't. Gridiron has always taken care of the community when it comes to running the numbers game, manual scoreboard, all that good stuff. Gridiron, I'm going to catch up with you next week when we break down at least 2 schedules and talk about some other cool things. All right?
All right.
Okay, so before I let you guys go, I normally try to run out of this. We're about 12 minutes over allotted time, so forgive me. One thing that I did want to talk about, because I've had a bunch of people ask me about how this whole fake offer game works. I know that there was an article written, I believe it was written by Zach Alvaro on ArizonaVarsity.com, and I think Cody contributed to it. I did not read the article yet. I did not read the article, but I'm sure that it is fantastic work. I don't know enough about I know how a fake offer works. Yes, they exist. Yes, I think it poisons the culture of recruiting. But fake offer is such a wild term. This is man, there's been the recruiting service thing. There's been the people paying for, which is people paying for somebody to help them with the recruiting or whatever. I look, I don't know enough about, you know, how people go about paying a college to offer their kid, other than there's a middleman and he gives a coach money or something like that, and the coach throws out an offer. But I've also been contacted by a handful of Power Four coaches, Power Five at the time, that have said, like, what the hell, Chili? I never offered this kid. Who is he? What is he doing? In which case, I refer them to the high school coach. A lot of times, the high school coaches don't even know that the kid has done such an egregious thing. One way to tell, since everybody is comparing their situation to somebody else, I don't want to put names out there, but wide receiver A just picked up an offer from like Florida State and USC and UNLV and Sacramento State or whatever, and a lot of those are perceived to be fake. So then wide receiver B is like, what does that kid have that I don't have? Look, if wide receiver A got those offers or whatever, however he acquired them, I do know that he's going to post them because everybody wants to clout these days. And for you guys that work hard, no problem. I get it. And you deserve it. You got to see who these people are tagging. You do got to, are they tagging their high school coach? Is their high school coach involved? Because, like, listen, man, like, I've thrown a lot of names out to a lot of college coaches. These college coaches all will ask me the same thing, or they will just go on their own because they have the contacts. They will ask me, Chili, who's this high school coach? What's his number? So I can get in contact with them. And like running back B or running back A that Chili recommends does not get the offer from ASU or Idaho State or wherever because Chili said to offer the kid. Those coaches are going to do their due diligence and reach out to the high school coach. My point being is, if a kid is posting offers and not tagging their high school coach, there's a reason. There's a reason. Sometimes that reason is because maybe the high school coach hasn't been hired yet or whatever. But if they're not tagging anybody affiliated with the program, that's usually a pretty good tell. Offer might not be legitimate. I don't care who the kid is. It is so difficult to get a legitimate offer from especially a Power 4 school without having the high school coach involved. For those of you that are paying for the recruiting services and things like that, not going to tell you how to spend your money, but I do believe that, in this day and age of social media and stuff, mom, dad, uncle, somebody closer, and a lot of these schools have recruiting coordinators. Shout out to Desert Edge and Coach Ortiz over there, Papa Ortiz. Shout out to Red Mountain with Coach Lawson, Big Papa Lawson over there. I know a lot of these schools have recruiting coordinators working and communicating with colleges. Coach Teeley over at Centennial. You shouldn't have to pay for recruiting. You just shouldn't. I know some of you do, and I'm not going to tell you guys how to spend your money, but there's a lot of hardworking people out there that are trying to help get kids' names out there. Beadle, Cody, Zach writes a crap ton, or just a crap ton. Gridiron's constantly posting things, and these college coaches, literally, Gridiron is the first person, maybe ever, that I have literally had college coaches fawn over in meeting him. So they follow me and a bunch of these other guys out and about, and a bunch of these other guys out and about have really good intentions. Ralph, Sesmac, Kevin McCabe. There's so many of them that have good intentions in the process. Yes, some are chasing clout, but a lot of them have good intentions in the process. They want to help kids. They want to be part of the village, all that stuff. So that being said, listen, I don't know. I don't know everything about the fake offer situation. I do know that it is a thing, and I don't know how to fix it. I've stopped trying. There were recruiting services that were in development that I used to let chime in on the show and stuff like that, and then I had to stop. Had some conversations, and then I had to stop. People trying to plug their recruiting service on my show, and like we have a community. We have a community, and I just want to make sure that everybody understands, like, there's always going to be people in the community trying to make money off of others, and I just don't think that the families are the ones to try to make money off of. I know that Zuby over at Higley kind of tries to discourage some of that stuff. He handles a lot of the recruiting over there at Higley and does a great job. His kids get opportunities. So yeah, there's my take on that. Flight Club coming soon. I can't wait. June 28th, pretty much the week of that, because it's June 23rd is going to be the pre-party. It's June 24th is going to be the selection show. June 27th is going to be Girls Flight Club. June 28th is going to be the Madness in Maricopa. And I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see y'all out there. Other than that, y'all know the deal. At Just Chili, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Just Chili TV on TikTok and YouTube. JustChili.tv. Make sure that you guys subscribe. Show your boy some love. AALL.net. Recruit ID. Burrito Express have done a great job rocking with their boy, supporting him in his Flight Club journey. Shout out to like Bakari Sweat, Country Archer, Beef Jerky. There's another one. Bobo's. Oh my gosh, Bobo's the amazing snack. All these guys have all contributed and supported and done some things, and I'm super grateful. Henry Brown GMC, want to show them some love. They're helping me develop something very, very cool. And I'm super excited to bring that. Stay tuned. Y'all will get to see it. I promise y'all will get to see it. Other than that, Forks Up Forever. Y'all know the deal.